fans will be there, the results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there.
I mean, you know, Nick Khan is Nick Khan is not necessarily wrong with what he said, especially as it pertains to the wrestlers or to the other people, to not focus on like the few people or the even a pretty big loud version of the WWE audience. I understand why he said this, and we'll kind of talk about that, but in the end, it does all add up eventually if you ignore it long enough. You got to be careful.
Will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there.
Or they won't.
First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter.
No, don't
Move
do
on.
it.
Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there.
Those results will be there, baby. Just get those results, Nick Khan. But it's concerning for talent when, people with giant audiences, big audiences, or just, simply somewhat influential audiences, are able to speak up and say things and give their opinions. And a lot of times those opinions are not liked by a lot of the talent. So it's something that you pay attention to if you're a talent. And if you're like a human being, it's totally understandable. But, Nick Khan's right in a way too, where it's like, man, I wouldn't look too far into this, but, I think that, just because one week everybody says something and maybe a second week everybody says everything, obviously I wouldn't like buy completely into all of that. You're getting good instant feedback from a lot of places, but like Jey Uso's a great example, right? Like Jey Uso, some of the negative feedback he was getting, like, oh, he's does he really deserve this or whatever? Like, he's somebody I would ignore the IWC. I would ignore the fans on that one, right? Because I'm getting a push that's a little bit different. And so the initial reaction is going to be like, what the hell's going on? This doesn't make sense. I don't get it. So I've completely written all of that off if I was Jey Uso. I would have talked about maybe why I deserve it, but I would also talk about, hey man, maybe I don't. I can't believe I'm here right now, and I would just ride that wave. So Jey Uso is somebody that when he won the Rumble or when that sort of thing happened, I would have stayed away from all of it, because if you're getting pushed like that, but you're also getting the crowd reactions that you're getting, I don't need anybody with a video or a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever. I don't need anybody like that to go in and tell me why that's not a good idea or why it won't work. I don't care about that, because I'm getting this like once in a lifetime push after being here for 10 years. So I don't really care what some of the critics might say about it, because whether it ends up being a good push, a bad push, a good decision, a bad decision, I may only get this type of a push and a fun time once. And so for that reason, I'm only gonna seek out the joy of it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to try to earn everybody who doesn't believe that this is valid. I'm going to try to win them over to my side anyway. And I pretty much wouldn't dwell on the whole situation. But all the other stuff, like the nitpicky stuff, I could see why, you would want to, react and not react to it. But I do think that, I think it's important to listen to some of the feedback, but I also think it's important to remember that all streamers, all YouTubers, all IWC people, a lot of them have agendas, and a lot of them have tribalism, that they're defending something hardcore regardless, right? And most of the people that take time to fight about wrestling on Reddit or X or to make a video, they're in about the 5% of the entire wrestling community for the most part. They're in like the 5%. And certainly there's also a lot of really casual, hyped fans who also make videos always just saying how much they love everything or they love their favorite wrestler. So I would say that the internet wrestling community is kind of like a bland statement or whatever. There's like 10% of all wrestling fans seem to have some kind of permanent stay on the internet where they regularly, constantly give their opinions about things. But I honestly believe that a chunk of them are fans of everything. So 5% of those people seem to be people that are just like, yeah, we're watching John Cena, the family, and they just make videos about how they love wrestling and they love this wrestler. And most of what they say is not negative. It's mostly just hype for the company and hype about the product or hype about their experience or hype for the thing that they really love. And it's really just all positive stuff. And so And then there's a bunch of people who their job is, or they're there to be critical of things. They're there to say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and this is what's going on. And, again, so that's only making up maybe 10%. 10% of the entire wrestling world and audience is regularly posting opinion on the product, right? So we've talked about this before. Where you really got to take everything into hand. You got to take into consideration, what are the live audiences reacting like live? What are they doing? What are the numbers doing? What are the merchandise sales doing? And what is the IWC saying? And what are the all that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, and how many times? Like, let's take Jey Uso. Jey Uso is such a great indication, right? So Jey Uso, he's such a great indication. Let's pull him up. Can I get? And listen, I'm going to play donations in a minute. So just for anybody who is going to donate, let me get that up on the screen for you guys. I am live on a special afternoon stream here for you guys. And by the way, SmackDown tonight's going to be nuts. The SmackDown is huge tonight. We got R-Truth, John Cena, and then there's actually kind of a bunch of other stuff that's pretty wild. So make sure you guys tune in to me tonight, because I will be live tonight for SmackDown. It's going to be I think a big deal. Jey Uso. Jey Uso was for a while in the top 5 of merch sales. So this is super important to do this. And we're going to take a screenshot of it and everything. How's everybody doing? Guys, super imperative that you click the like button if you can. Please, 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 please click the like button. Okay, so let's take a look at Jey Uso. All right. So, merch. We're going to give him a grade. Merch. I'm going to give him a B+. It maybe arguably could be better than that, to be honest. Crowd response. I mean, from the crowd, I think he gets a really amazing pop for his entrance, but during the matches, not the greatest. But then after the matches, he gets a good reaction too. So, I'm going to give him an A- for crowd reaction. Right? Ratings, they didn't drop off when he was on. They didn't do great either. So I'm going to give him a B+. Right? And then IWC, the feelings, I think they were split with Jey Uso. A lot of people were kind of split. So with the internet fans, I'm going to give him a B-. Because I think some people were like, yeah, he deserves this. This is great. And then there was other people that said, this guy doesn't deserve this. This is ridiculous. He won the Royal Rumble. What the hell's going on? I mean, if you really wanted to, you could maybe say the IWC, maybe give him a C+. The rating, his favorability in the IWC is definitely the worst of any of those categories. So let's give him a C+. So that these are speculations. I don't fully have this completely gridded out. I mean, we could really dig into this, but at my best guesstimation, with him being in the top 5, with merchandise sales for the last 6 months, maybe, mostly because of the Yeet t-shirt, and you get his crowd reaction is really good. I mean, you want to add matches, quality, match, quality. I don't know. Doesn't have a really good match quality. He's had some really bad matches, and he's had some of his best recently. So I would probably give him a C+ in match quality, because recently his last few matches have been his better matches he's ever had, but he really doesn't have good matches. And some of his matches before that were really bad. So, when you talk about merch sales, crowd reaction, ratings, when he's out there, IWC, feelings about him, the most critical of the IWC. I mean, and I don't know what this is. If you average this out, I think it averages out to I think he averages out to like maybe a B- or a C+. I think it's a B-. I think his average score would be like a B-. So, you know, and by the way, coming over the next year, you're probably going to see these numbers, I would think, probably drop a little bit, right? Like you're going to see his numbers drop down a little bit. These are the scores that I would come up with off the top of my head, and we could adjust these a little bit. But so when Nick Khan says, you know, something like he said in this clip, let's play it.
First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. First, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there.
So, again, the YWC or the IWC or whatever you want to call it, I would say I think people overall give him the benefit of the doubt, to be honest. You know, I think winning the Rumble, he was the most criticized when he won the Rumble. He was then the most criticized when we were going into his WrestleMania match. But I would say that if you forced everybody to say, like, hey, do you think Jey Uso deserves to be here or not? It could go either way. It would go either like, you know what I mean, like 40-60 or 60-40, one way or the other, I think, depending on who you asked. I think if you asked a more positive wrestling show review, like Denise Salad Tosser, like her fucking succubus, suck-up, whore bag, whatever the fuck, if you asked her fake-ass audience and her, they would probably say, like, oh, like, yeah, he definitely deserves to be there, yes. And, like, it would be, like, 85% positive, 90%, 85% positive for him. I think if you ask my audience, there's a potential it would be about 50-50 maybe. But I don't know. We might even swing into the negative. So, again, Nick Khan is not wrong. Nick Khan is very valid as far as when it comes to Jey Uso, right? When it comes to Jey Uso, he's totally right. Jey Uso should 100% ignore anything because this guy is in the system. He's locked in. You know, the merchandise sales backs him up. The crowd response certainly backs him up. The ratings when he's out there performing for the most part back him up for the most part. And then his match quality, it's not great, but he doesn't need it. The IWC criticizing him and stuff like that, yeah, it's there, but even that's a C+, I would say. The guy's not like virtually hated completely or anything. But yeah, the IWC is the biggest criticism of him that you can have. And his other worst negative is his match quality. But the most important things are his merch, crowd response, ratings. And I mean, to be honest, if you want to add to this list and you want to say like promo, you want to throw his promo on there for some reason. I mean, I don't think he's had great promos, but I don't think he's had terrible ones either. I think he's gone out there for the most part and been able to at least fake it till he makes it on the promo. I might give him a B- on the promo. I mean, if I'm being honest, though, I kind of want to give him a C+ myself on the promo. I think he's had pretty good promos and pretty weird promos, too. So I'm going to give him a C+, which I think is a pretty fair score. But the most important things on here are ratings, crowd, and merch. So ratings, crowd, and merch beat out the IWC. Promo and match, he's not failing. So, I mean, I think his matches were maybe the worst thing of all this at one point. But he's because he's gotten better, and it's weird. He's gotten better as a singles competitor slightly, not a lot. I think he was wrestling D- matches, and now he's wrestling D+ to C+ matches. Like, so he has improved in the ring in singles competition for sure, which is like, I mean, he went from failing or damn near failing to, or what I would consider not good and failing, to being passable. I mean, that's a huge improvement to me. It's a whole different thing to be in a singles match than it is to be in a tag match. You sort of know how these tag matches are going to work. 2 out of 4 times, you have multiple people able to even help you in the match for whatever reason. If that confuses me more. I do actually worse when I'm out there with multiple people because there's more things to remember and more people to look out for, and I do worse. Clearly, Jey Uso, though, kind of thrived in that environment. But when you're out there by yourself, you have to be calling the shots or letting the other guy call the shots or taking turns in between and kind of the synergy. And it's a different animal. I like that style better. That's how I do better that way with one-on-one. Like, hey, man, who do we want to lead this? Or maybe we'll both just take it. I can do any of it. But, Jey Uso, I think, struggled with that at first. And then once he found it, he's in a better position. So anyway, there's Jey Uso. So we took a screenshot of this. There we go. I got it. Let's do Cody Rhodes just to compare. And then we'll get to the questions, and then we'll get to the chat, and then we'll get to the donations that hopefully are coming in. I do see one or two, I think. I don't see them, but I know I thought I saw one a minute ago, so we do have some donos coming in. If you want to donate, that'd be awesome. Streamlabs pinned to the top of the chat right now. We'll play your donations. We'll get back to the Nick Khan stuff and some of the other things, and Vince McMahon, and got some other news going on, and WWE selling. We're going to keep talking about that. Saudi Arabia, especially with the war stuff going on. How's that going to affect? Tonight's SmackDown is really a must-watch tonight on SmackDown. It's pretty crazy. So we look forward to whatever happens on SmackDown tonight. Okay. So Cody Rhodes, merch. He's got A+ merch for sure. Crowd reaction is an A+. I don't know if it's an A+. It's an A. I don't want to give it an A+. That's like, I guess it's an A+. He gets a huge reaction when he comes out. Ratings when he's out there, they go either way. I'll give him an A-. How does the IWC feel about Cody Rhodes? I feel like there's a little bit of a split with him sometimes. But overall, I'll give him a B-. His promo ability is not great. A lot of times he's just kind of whatever. I want to say that he's better than Jey Uso, though. So Jey Uso got a C+. I'll give him a B-. His match quality, I like his matches. They're very simple and basic, and usually, but they're fairly exciting for what they do. He's not a video game guy, but he's a traditional wrestler, traditional WWE sort of style. And so these are Cody Rhodes' ratings to me. And so I feel like this is pretty accurate for the most part. You could argue that the IWC is even a C+ for him, because I feel like the IWC, a lot of people really love Cody Rhodes, but then a lot of people really hate him and they crap on him still. So the IWC is still one of the most criticized thing of a guy who's literally getting A+ in merch, crowd, ratings, whatever. So basically what I'm trying to say is the IWC is Yelp. If you've ever gone on Yelp and looked up any business on Yelp, if you look up most businesses on Google, Google Business, Google whatever, and you look up, Phil's gas station. Phil's gas station gets a 4 out of 5 stars on Google, and most people are like, really love it there. It's awesome. It's a little bit old though, whatever. It smells weird, something like that. But for the most part, I like it. Then there's a few people that complain, say, I'll never go to this gas station, whatever. But if you then go to Yelp, you'll find that Phil's gas station or whatever it is, they get like a 3 or a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And Yelp is just filled with all the complaints. And if you go through it, there's like 18 reviews, and 10 of them are complaints. But if you go through Google, there's like 200 reviews, and there's only like 20 complaints. So the better decision for me usually is to look at the Google reviews, because Google review is more accurate. Now, it is more susceptible to botting or to lies or to rigging or whatever. Not as many people are going to the third party like Yelp to do it, but also not a lot of people are going to Yelp to say, I love this business. Only the most furious, pissed off person is going to Yelp to be like, fuck this business. So I have to look on Yelp and say, has there been a really, really bad, egregious, negative comment about them in the last couple of years? And you go on, you look, and you're like, okay, there's been 2. Over the last 2 years, there's 2 like people that were really pissed. What were they pissed about? Okay, well, this guy was pissed that he started filling up his gas tank, they ran out of gas, and then they didn't refund him the right way or something like that. This other person was mad that the gas station attendant was rude to them, and they had to wait in line forever. And you're like, okay, well, both of those things are shitty, but there are things that can happen beyond control of somebody, and they're things that rarely happen. It didn't say that these people called me like the N-word and they're racist. And then there's a couple other comments that are like, yeah, they're weird to black people here. Or, you know what I mean? Like something that's like repetitive, an issue. Or like they constantly overcharge you $5 later after you fill up your gas tank. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to go to that gas station. That happens like every time. Whatever the reason is, you're using your reasonable deduction to try to figure this out. And so Yelp is always just the most angry, negative people. Well, I mean, that's what the IWC is, because it's our job to criticize things, to like it or to criticize it. And if you're doing a good job, you're saying when stuff is good and you're saying when stuff is bad. So big whoop. You're saying when things are good and when things are bad. And, it's not all bad. Nick Khan, that's the other thing I would say, just to Nick Khan and to WWE people is like, hey, it's not all bad. It's not always bad. You only focus on the bad. And if I was Nick Khan, I would say, hey, don't put all your stock into the IWC, because the most criticism and critical stuff comes out of them, and it comes to people who are on top and making a lot of money. So it's not really that valuable. Take it with a grain of salt from the IWC for sure, because you can be like Jey Uso, and you could be like, your biggest negative could be what the IWC is saying about you. But look at all your positives, and the IWC has zero effect on that for the most part. So why in the world would you spend a bunch of time trying to figure out, how to please this small audience or this loud with audience with a reach? Because you could be like Jey Uso, where, hey, you're the most criticized, one of the worst things on your list is the IWC, what the IWC thinks of you. Oh, are they paying for your paycheck? Who gives a shit? So who cares? So Nick Khan is not wrong. I get it. Nick Khan's not wrong. Even Cody Rhodes. Nick, you could argue that the IWC is probably promo and IWC could be C pluses on Cody Rhodes right here. Like, he could have a C plus in both of those. I could see that. I could see giving him saying like, well, the IWC sometimes is really mean to Cody. Sometimes they love him, sometimes they hate him. Okay, you could give him. I could see giving him a C plus on his promo. Maybe even giving him whatever. Even if you slightly change this a little bit, it's still, look, the IWC is his biggest negative. Well, that's not a big deal. If that's your biggest negative, well, fucking who cares? You're always going to be criticized, even if you're really good. So that's the job. That's what you're going to get from fan feedback and from wrestling journalists or from wrestling pundits or wrestling shows or whatever. So, I mean, again, Nick Khan is not wrong. But also, you should listen to some feedback, because there might be some things that you could make little adjustments about, as long as they're valid criticisms. They're not, and listen, in the moment, criticisms are different. In the moment, if I start screaming about something I didn't like and I'm flipping out about it, I'm angry, I mean, you're getting my immediate reaction, right? My honest, actual feelings. And then you take those into consideration with the way the rest of the fans feel and the way other people feel, and then, you decide where to go from there. And maybe they help you, maybe they don't. But yeah, I mean, most people who are, I think a lot of people who are smart, or wrestlers that are smart, and wrestlers that have a brain, and wrestlers who are smooth, they're gonna know, like, I know where my character is going, that this is gonna be funny when they see, and when to take valid criticism, right? Like Cody Rhodes' valid criticism could be, if you think Cody Rhodes needs to get better on the microphone, maybe Cody needs to remember to have a little more intensity on the microphone. And you know what I mean? People want some more intensity. Maybe he's got to be a little more badass on the microphone. Be a little bit more of the Nightmare than the Mr. America. You know what I mean? Maybe you just got to remember to do some of that. Have that little bit of an edge. Have that edge. Because other people are going to match that edge. You're going to have it. And they're the bad guys. And so to stay interesting to the crowd and to be interesting to the good guys in the crowd, you got to try to kind of match that edge that they might have. And I think that's what Cody needs. He always has to have that little bit of an edge. He has to say that little thing. Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. That's the edge we're talking about. He doesn't have to swear every time he goes out there. And remember how hot that was? Do you guys remember how hot that whole thing was? Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. That whole thing was awesome. And they were going. That angle was really good. And then they got to WrestleMania and everything just died. It's crazy how that was really, really... Wrestling was doing well at that time, and it's been dead since after The Rock did not show up.
Hey, Rock! Go fuck yourself! What? Hey, Rock! Go fuck yourself!
Dude, that was awesome. Everybody was in on The Rock being this boss who was making John Cena do this stuff, and Cody Rhodes had refused to do it, and now The Rock is making him do it. It was so good, and then The Rock disappeared. And that has sent WWE and wrestling overall, to be honest, into a downward spiral. Literally, they had momentum, and now they've got nothing almost. And this is where Nick Khan would say, yeah, I don't think you know how much money we're making and how much, the business is great. And so IWC guy, you don't know what you're talking about. So this is where Nick Khan would say, you don't really know what you're talking about. But I would argue that I do know what I'm talking about. You've priced out a lot of fans. The ticket sales are down a little bit. The merchandise sales are down a little bit. But most of all, the viewership is stagnant and down a little bit when it was rising before. So I would argue that I do know something a little bit. And I also would argue that a lot of the fans were confused. The majority of the fans are confused. We're talking about even the IWC people that love almost everything were like, what's going on? Why did they do this? Why is this not happening? What happened? Da, 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 da. So all the people that you had on your side even are questioning it. So there is a consensus among people, and there's proof in numbers as well. So it's one of those times where you kind of should listen. The first time that the wrestling fans woke up a little bit and snapped up a little bit, like, we're awake about something again for a second, is R-Truth. The whole R-Truth situation, people finally kind of, I forgot I was interested in wrestling a couple months ago, and now I haven't done shit last 4 months, or whatever it is. R-Truth brought that back up. Anyway, if you guys want to donate, Streamlabs is pinned to the top of the chat right now. Tonight's SmackDown is going to be, I think, something to watch. And I'll be live, and I'll be here for it. Let's play the donations.
Hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
Scissor me, Joe!
Come dump the face of DJ Glaze fucking pussy bitch. Luke is a fat slobber of a man. I hope he kills his mom in a rape gone bad. DJ Klansman Glaze hates Juneteenth because it's when his great-grandfather had his property liquidated.
Oh.
Racist but plug.
Oh, my God. Well, Larry with the $3 donation. Good Lord, Larry. What the hell, bro? Let's check out the chat really quickly. Thank you, Larry, for that $3 donation. Beer Money are a great tag team. Yeah, I'd agree. Let's see. CM Punk greater than Jey Uso, says JJ Bullfrog. Yeah, or Bulldog. Yeah, of course. Nick Khan and Triple H. L? Are you saying they're losers? Andy? Andy Wen. Tony Yolo. What's up, Tony? Grid's here, baby. What's up, Grid? Good matches with moments that mean something. Definitely has the main event style. Oh, I think Raving Ninja's talking about Cody Rhodes. Yeah, exactly. The matches mean something, and a lot of times you can remember them. I don't know what you're talking about, Raving, about WWR. I don't know what that is. Joe, I thought promo quality depends on who you are going off of. Yeah, probably true. I think Jey earned his spot. That's true. IWC got R-Truth rehired, yeah. Well, that's why, like, so you want to do R-Truth? Let's do R-Truth for a second, right? Because that's a whole different thing, right? Let's do R-Truth because he will be the first guy that has an IWC score that's really high. So, you know, like you said, Nick Khan, here's where I guess Nick Khan, yeah, would be wrong, I suppose, right? This is a great point that you guys brought up. I did not think about this. And I said Nick Khan is right. I think Nick Khan is right to an extent, right? Like, but it's one of those things where it's like, well, you just got to take everything into account. You can't just... You got to take everything into account. I don't know why it's done this weird glitch to R-Truth's picture, but... So R-Truth merchandise... I mean, we're talking about normally his merchandise is probably not great, right? R-Truth's merchandise is probably like a D- or a D+. Like Lil Jimmy t-shirts. I mean, his merch right now is probably doing a lot better. But in the past, his merch is probably like a D+. Crowd response for him is usually pretty good, and give it a C+. When he's out there with ratings, I don't think it matters. Or at least it didn't used to matter. C+. Promo has always been really pretty good. I give that probably a B. We'll give it a B. And his matches are just whatever. You know, I think he's better than... It's just whatever. He's pretty good. He doesn't have a lot of matches anymore. So I'll probably give him a B-. But recently, the IWC has been talking really well about him. Not everybody, though, so I give him an A-. Because, and if you want to talk about his current merch, and you move this to current merch right now, his current merch is a B+. So, if you look at R-Truth the past month, this is probably R-Truth like the past month. But, I mean, now you're talking about the crowd reaction is up for him, right? So now his crowd reaction is like a B+ or an A-. Like they're popping, they're cheering for him, they're chanting for him when he's not there. We'll say A-, right? So look at how this all changes around. You know, now when he's on camera, people want to see what R-Truth's going to do, and when he's out there, so now it's like a B+. The IWC thinks he's an A-. I mean, so even if you took away some of these things from a year ago. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's changed about R-Truth over time into the current R-Truth. But if you just a year ago, R-Truth is working for the company, what does the IWC think of R-Truth back then? They're just like, whatever. He's like a joke. He comes out there or whatever. I don't know. I like him, but whatever. C+ probably, right? His promos are the same. His matches are the same. Ratings, he's not doing anything when he goes out there ratings-wise. C+. Crowd reaction to him is just whatever. It's normal. It's like people like him, but it's nothing crazy. You know, merchandise isn't selling like that. Merchandise, like I said, is probably a D+. So it's like that's how his ratings have changed over time and how he's now seen differently by even the IWC because they've all decided, you know, this guy shouldn't be fired. Like, that's crazy. And now he's like turned full face. So it's like these are the way somebody can morph in the eyes of all these things is pretty crazy.
Duncachino?
Don't mind if I do.
Oh,
What's my name? Duncachino. It's a whole new game.
Duncachino.
You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
The fans will be there until you price them out like you already have been. Tickets and merch prices are constantly going up. Add that to any potential travel and hotel costs. I'd rather feed my family and watch from my couch at a fraction of the cost.
yeah, that's a great point. Nobody can afford it. I would never dream of going. I mean, I would maybe take my kids to a house show if they expressed interest, which they have before, but I took my oldest son Gavin when he was like, I think he was like 8 or something, or 6. I don't remember how old he was when I took him to the WWE house show. He saw Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. He was so excited about that. Kevin Owens was there. So he really liked that. Thank you, Colonel Stutters. Top donation of the stream, brother. Thank you, Colonel Stutters. Much appreciated, bro. $11 from Colonel Stutters. That is the top donation of the stream, and then I'm going to read some of the comments in the chat. But first, let's get Colonel Stutters up there. I'm going to be live tonight after SmackDown, or maybe even during SmackDown. SmackDown is going to be kind of big tonight, I think, because our R-Truth is I think facing Cena. I think they've advertised that R-Truth is facing Cena. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Colonel Stutters, so much, brother, for the $11. That's gas and drinks, and maybe some Billies. Pay some Billies. Merch is A+ with Ron Cena. I agree. His merch right now is like an A. I do think you're right. Perry Saturn, a D+. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Perry Saturn. Poor Perry Saturn. That's funny.
Hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
Scissor me, Joe!
I'm getting married soon. You're invited. You can bring Dorkite and Jay Menace and Ghost. They're my favorite people. My girlfriend especially liked them. She wants me to watch as they gangbang her.
Oh.
I'll sit in the corner.
Oh, my God. JJ Bulldog. Congrats on the marriage. Yeah, imagine if I showed up with an orgy of JCS whack pack people and we all just got down on it.
Shit bum.
Unbelievable.
I got great mic skills.
Lil Jimmy. That's true, Lil Jimmy. You might be right. Lil Jimmy might have great mic skills. Lil Jimmy, thank you for becoming a $5 shit bum, brother. Much appreciated, Lil Jimmy. You are the best. Let's be honest. Love you, Lil Jimmy.
Kelly,
Yep.
Don't what me? You see, I asked myself, I said, self,
Oh, my God. He axed himself.
who do you think is going to try to get you? I thought it might have been that computer right there. Then I thought it might be John Cena. Stop wetting me! But you know what happened, folks? I got okie doke by little Jimmy. I got by little Jimmy. That ain't fun. Shut up. You see, I knew it was a conspiracy. All you little Jimmys, all you big Jimmys, even the mama Jimmy.
Well, this is not Jimmy. It's Christian. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, I also believe it's a man who has a beef, much like R-Truth does, for what happened at Capital Punishment last night.
Truth, I feel where you're coming from, dog. I feel where you're coming from.
I feel where you're coming from, dog. Oh, my God. I do think that Christian's work in AEW is going to go down as my favorite, maybe my favorite stuff he's ever done. Because his just cold piece of shit-like behavior on the microphone in AEW is amazing. Like, somebody really needs to compile his, like, AEW promos. I don't know if somebody's done that. Verbal atrocities. Christian Cage's most vicious burns. Wait a minute. Maybe AEW's done it. This is a 40-minute video. Is this real?
I know the people of Milwaukee aren't very intelligent, so I'm going to give you one more chance.
Look at his look, how he looks.
Oh shit, look at his look.
Look at him, look like he look. Look at his look that he looks. Look what he looks like a crook. I'm coming for your crook in the nook. I'm coming for you. I look like a crook.
And look at his look. Hell
Grid.
yes.
Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, you get shook. Look at his look, you getting shook. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, he looks like a crook. Look at his look, you getting kinda shook. Look at his look, how he looks. Look at his look, you get shook.
TKO and their debt ain't nothing that big. BLUMPKIN purchasing AAA. This is all normal. Purchased at offset your debt claim on taxes. The medical company I work for was purchased by big corporation to help their debt and go public.
You're right. It really isn't as big. We're making it seem like they're going to go out of business or something like that. But it's still being mentioned that they could sell the WWE. That's what makes people, I think, jump around about it. But also, they're tightening their belt, which is also normal because when you're losing money, you go, well, we got to do something to sort of stop that so we can start getting back into the positive again. So I don't think it's as big of an emergency as we've made it out to be, like you just said. You're probably right. But I think that but I think it's still surprising to some people. But yeah, it's definitely normal. This is something, like you said, all businesses and huge businesses and conglomerations and stuff like that, they go through this. And they can handle it because they have so much backup money and capital available. It's like, well, worst comes to worst, you sold one of these entities, you'd be way in the plus. It's not a big deal. You've got the capital to play around and to do these things. So, yeah, no, you're right, Grid. I mean, it's not as big of a crazy as I think some people made it out to be. I think I made it even out to be that, maybe. But I'm just surprised that they're even in that red at all. I just thought that they would be completely in, good shape. I'm shocked that it's even, that their needle is that way. But yeah, it's nothing that they can't easily snap. They can snap a finger and fix it. It's not a big deal. Thank you to Grid. Grid just became the top donator, actually. So Grid is on top, man. $12 did it. $1 more did it to put him on top of Colonel Stutters. Yeah, but I love these Christian Savage. Let's see a little bit more of this. See if we can get one of those good ones.
It's rude to make me talk over you, so I'd appreciate a little decorum here, please, Milwaukee. Shut your damn mouth!
Well, that's going to work.
What kind of man carries around a championship he didn't win? I think I know the answer. It's fine. Hey, you guys continue just doing whatever it is you're doing. We're going to hit the bricks, New Jersey. But before we go, just a quick reminder that we are the faces of TNT now and forever.
And Christian better be...
You're going to sit here and pretend all of a sudden you're buddies with Jungle Boy, like you know him the way that I know him or the way that Luchasaurus knows him? Here's the thing, Matt. You're starting to make your brother sound like the sober one.
Oh, for God's sakes. There's no death that Christian Cage will not stick to.
I think she was a little sweet on Christian Cage, if you know what I mean. I think she wanted me to be Jungle Boy's father. And here's the thing, I know Jungle Boy, he looked at me like a father figure. He sure did. But here's the thing, Jungle Boy, I never wanted to be your father. I never wanted to be your father figure. You have a father, but your father's dead.
Damn.
And that's probably a good thing, Jungle Boy, because...
You deserve what you did to Jungle Boy.
Sting, are you going to introduce me to your little friend? I think I know who this guy is. I heard a lot about you. Nick Wayne. It's nice to meet you in person finally, Nick. I've heard a lot about you. I've heard about your story, and I understand that you have a father.
Oh, no.
And your father is dead.
Christian, get rid of him. Can we get rid
I also understand that your father was a professional wrestler. Well, I've never heard of your father, Buddy Wayne, before, so he must not have been very good.
Buddy Wayne's the man that trained Darby
The good
Allin.
news for you, though, Nick, is that because your father was such a talentless hack, you don't have a lot to live up to.
I mean, that's just some of the stuff. Yeah, my gimmick is I'm gonna really go in on people's dead fathers. Like that's the bet. Like that's and that's just some of it, right? Like Christian has got the. I don't think his promos in AEW. I don't think there's anything he did in WWE. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and I'm missing something, but I can't think of a better time for Christian on the mic than AEW. Like his stuff on the mic there is great because it's so just viciously insane, and I love that. We love that. So I'd give it to Christian for that. Christian was fire, bro, in AEW. I mean, I don't know what he's been doing recently, but man, he had some good ones in AEW. He was wild.
I'm asked by upper management to come out here and apologize for the insensitive remarks I made last week about Jungle Boy's family, more specifically when I singled out his father. Now, I've never apologized for anything I've said or done my entire...
You're right. He said, go fuck yourself before Cody Rhodes. That's right. And we popped for that night when he did that with Edge. You're right. He did do that first. And it was big when he did it that night. And Cody did it to The Rock. Great point.
Career. That being said, Jungle Boy, I'm sorry. Your entire family isn't dead. And they had to witness...
What the hell is wrong with that is?
And they had to witness me end you in that ring 2 weeks ago on Dynamite. Actually, let me clarify. Everybody in your family, except for your mom, Jungle Boy.
Beyond the pale. That is...
Classy as always, Detroit. Classy as always. Listen, the only thing this scumbag city has going for it is that you're close to Canada. Now, you Motor City sweat hogs might be wondering why I'm standing out here in street clothes when I requested a match this week. Well, it's simple. I requested a match, but I never said it was for me. So here we are on the heels of Blood and Guts. And I am the cage that everybody is talking about. That goes on behind that curtain, you know nothing of my business, all right? I don't need your comments about who I should be wrestling, what title I should be going for, who I should align myself with. I'm one of the best to ever step foot in this ring.
Out something to the sea monster to your left. The giant lizard. Breaking news. You're the champion, not him.
You know what, Arn? It's funny that we're in Greensboro, and listen, I know you've had many, many legendary moments in this arena. You have, but don't forget, the most relevant you've been in the last 15 years is when I left you in a pool of your own blood a couple months ago. What happened, huh? What happened? You woke up this morning and you jumped in the fountain of youth? Well, maybe you should have taken a few laps while you were in there, huh? And now you're gonna step to me? You're gonna step to the TNT champion? Listen, I said no more open challenges. But if you want to step in this ring, I'd be willing to make an exception for you.
There's a lot more from Christian. It's crazy that's a 45-minute video because they're still missing a ton of clips from Christian. Toxic Avenger Red Band trailer just released. Are you serious? What?
Extremists have taken hostages downtown. Somebody do something!
Oh my God.
Wait, stop! We'll get to all that.
Toxic Avenger. We're watching it.
Corporation.
This is crazy. Kevin Bacon's in it?
customers just to boost their own profit margins?
Peter Dinklage is in it.
Summon the nuts.
Okay, summoning the nuts.
This looks ridiculous.
I don't want any of this. I'm a monster.
You're not a monster. Show him your good heart.
Hey, buddy, I'm your dad.
What the?
I wasn't even involved. But sometimes you gotta do something.
Dude, the way that the Toxic Avenger trailer looks, it looks like they're like, it looks like it's like 60 frames per second or something.
Who the fuck are you? Just some dude with a mouth.
Oh my god, they're totally going like fully crazy.
You realize what's at stake here?
Everything!
Find him, bring him here.
There you are.
Dude, they got Elijah Wood. I can't even believe he's playing. Oh my god. Kevin Bacon is in
No,
this.
it's just self-defense. You haven't killed anyone else, have you?
See, when you say, self-defense,
Why does this look so sped up and like over? Like, why does this look like 120 frames per second?
He's an ugly son of a bitch, though.
Wow.
the Toxic Avenger.
That's what the kids are calling him. I think it's soil.
I gotta be honest, that looks fucking amazingly crazy. I gotta tell you, man, as much as a Peter Dinklage is a scumbag for what he did to those other midget dwarf people, I guess Toxic Avenger is a midget. That's crazy. I had no idea that Peter Dinklage was doing that. That's crazy. That actually looks kind of fun. That looks like, you know, take a couple of shots and go into the movie theater and you're probably going to maybe have a decent time. Wow. That actually looks like fun. All right, boys and girls. Well, I'm going to be live tonight after SmackDown or during SmackDown maybe. I know tonight is still a 3-hour show, so we'll see how much I can get into. So thank you for being here. Hope you guys click the like button. Hope you guys can drop super thanks and super chats or just comments or just click the like button. That'd be awesome. And, of course, if you guys have any things you want to see on my Patreon, join the Patreon to download everything. I didn't see Mega Man either. There's a Mega Man trailer out. What the fuck happened today? How many trailers are out today? Trailer? Let me see. I didn't really like the Naked Gun came out with a new trailer, and that made me think, like, this movie looks off a little bit. Naked Gun doesn't... It's like I can't tell if it's supposed to be funny or not. And there's, like, a couple of funny moments in the trailer that I thought were really funny, like the new trailer, when at the end, like, the jail blows up and then some guy with, like, you know what I mean, with, like, the Silence of the Lambs mask goes walking out. I thought that was funny, but everything else I didn't really think was that funny. Xbox official next generation hardware announcement. That's pretty cool. We didn't talk about that. I don't care about Fantastic Four. I'm not a Fantastic Four person. It's been too many Superman trailers. I'm trying to stay away from it. Osiris. I didn't see that. Is that real? The Sandman Season 2. I don't watch that. Back to the Frontier. I don't see this Squid Game. There's too many Superman trailers. I'm trying not to watch any Superman trailers because, like, it's gonna ruin the movie eventually if I keep seeing it. Nuked is a that's a scary one to be coming out right now. Yeah, when is Gremlins 3 coming out? That's a great point. Toxic Avenger. Ark Lost Colony. Wait, is that for a video game? Oh, that's for the video game Ark. Okay. I thought they made a movie out of Ark already. I don't see the other stuff. There's a Terraria thing out. That's interesting. I'll look up some more stuff and I'll see what I think about it all, and then we'll talk about it. Gremlins 3 is coming out next Christmas. Ooh, I'll check that out too. Toxic Avenger. All right, well, I'll be live tonight for SmackDown. I hope you guys can join me. Off to try to make some more dough. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, and tonight, R-Truth, head-to-head with John Cena. Randy Orton against Sami Zayn. Asuka against Alexa Bliss. So much stuff is going on tonight on SmackDown, to be honest. It's I do think this is one you'll want to see tonight, SmackDown wise. It might be decent tonight potentially. So I think tonight's SmackDown might be somewhat interesting. We'll see. Follow me on Patreon if you guys can, and join the Patreon, for whether it's for free or you become a patron again, man. We need people back on Patreon. If you can join, there it is, Patreon, guys. It's so important and so awesome if you guys join Patreon. You get thousands of bonus shows you've never heard before, videos, songs, podcasts, all the alerts whenever I put out a video or whenever I go live. And, of course, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe and slappy the bell around. I'll see you guys tonight for SmackDown.
Rock! Go fuck yourself!
What?